Hey, we're back. Welcome to Increase, and I am your host, Alpheus Gibbs. I just want to welcome you and let you know that we're at episode number 4, and we are here still in season 1. And today, like any other time, we have an amazing time. And our last episode, we talked about exposure to new, and today we just want to deal with consistency while comfortable. And consistency is defined as conformity in the application of something, typically that which is necessary for the sake of logic, accuracy, or fairness. In our lives, I've learned that sometimes being consistent can get boring. It can get stale. It gets to the point where it gets so mundane that you don't want to do it anymore. And it breeds a level of comfortability. It takes you literally to a place wherein you're like, man, do I really wanna do this? Do I really want to continue to go in this pathway? And so one of the things is that as you continue to get consistent and you start getting comfortable, then your consistency starts to lack. You begin to slow down, you begin to find other things to do, and so the quality of the work begin to suffer. And that is something that is really detrimental to your brand or to your legacy or to the work project that you're working on. And what I want to share with you is like some tips on how you can remain consistent while still being comfortable. I don't think that because you are consistent that you have to now jeopardize being comfortable. I believe that as you continue to be consistent, your consistency should drive you to a higher level of mastery. That you literally, as you are getting consistent, you're beginning to not find shortcuts, but you begin to find ways to elevate the excellent work that you're doing. Whether it's in a relationship or whether it's in the work that you're doing, no matter which area or that you're moving in, I believe that you should be able to take what it is that you're doing and go to the next level. As we look at the definition again, it talks about conformity in the application of something. Conformity meaning to uh, shape yourself and mold yourself to a particular pattern. But who says the pattern has to remain the same? The way that they used to sell back in, the early 90s, early 80s is different than right now because times not only have changed, but shopping and spending habits have also been altered. And with that, we now have to sell, market in a different manner. And it's the same way even in your relationship. Though you were the funny person or the very, clingy, caring person early in the relationship, you may be at a place now where you don't need that or even desire it. So, but you still want to show that you're caring and loving, but now you have to alter the way that you do it. Because if you don't, then you'll find yourself not only being exhausted in the relationship, but you'll find yourself not even truly being in a relationship, that you're only in it by name and not by work, not by heart, not by feeling, not by thought. So, one of the first things that I want to share with you in being consistent while being comfortable is to make clear goals while leaving room for growth. Make clear goals while leaving room for growth. Because when the goal is clear, it's easier to conform. It's easier to begin to find and shape and mold the pattern that needs to be done. A lot of us have vision boards and we have things on there that we want to do. The problem begins to arise is that you just have pictures and thing in the time frame in which you want to do it. You don't have the small steps broken down so that you can get to said goals. Another thing is so when you have those things there, and you're like, okay, well, it's cynical. I'm never gonna get it because I'm working, but so many other things are coming up. It's because you didn't set smaller, achievable goals to get to the main goal. You set the broad picture, but you didn't leave room for growth within yourself, wherein I need to improve on my focus, or I need to improve on my time management because I'm spending more time on the smaller things and not the greater things. Or you may be trying to you're so busy helping other people that you're not helping yourself and you're not getting your work done. So you're a great team player in that regard, but you're not achieving the goal needed for your own business or for your own project. Even the same again as you parallel this to your relationships. You're a great friend, but you're a horrible husband or a horrible wife. And I use the word horrible because the other person is feeling neglected because you spend more time, maybe not even physically, but also physically with your friends or with your other family, mother, father, sister, brother, cousins, or whomever, and not enough time with your spouse. Or you may spend the time with your spouse, but mentally you've already checked out. You're thinking about work. You're thinking about things that need to be done around the house. You're more enamored with what's going on the television than your spouse snuggling up closer to you and wanting you to embrace them stronger. Because internally, they're feeling like they have been abandoned, not by you, but by the world or by some person that's their friend or their family outside of you. And so they need that reassurance, but the reassurance they want needs to come in a warm embrace or a stronger embrace. So you need to begin to look at those nuances and begin to say, okay, here's my goal. My goal is to express my love, my adoration, my appreciation. Now, I also need to leave room to go and chart different ways to get there. I need to leave room that if this doesn't work, then I can switch to something else so that I can still achieve the goal that is needed. So once I make a clear goal and leave room for growth, the next thing that you want to do when you're trying to be consistent while being comfortable is to focus on running your race. You cannot do the work for other people. You have to make sure that you are running your race. As a person, when you're running, track, or you're a sprinter or whatever, if you're focused on how another person is running, it's going to throw off your rhythm and your timing. It's going to cause you to either slow down or you're going to begin to trip over your steps. So you want to make sure that you're focused on what it is that you are supposed to be doing. When you were in school, they would always tell you when you're taking a test, keep your eyes on your own paper. Because even though everyone in the classroom has the same test, that doesn't mean that everyone has the same knowledge. And so you may try to copy another person, but that person may have gotten that problem wrong. So you got to make sure that you focus on your paper. So as we are being consistent, consistency means that I am now tunnel vision focused. Yes, I know things are happening around me. Yes, I know things are happening possibly even to me. But there are also things that's happening for me. You hear celebrities say all the time that they got to a place wherein they got tired of just barely making money to make ends meet. And they got really focused and they begin to hone in on their skill. What skill do you have that you are ignoring? What skill do you have that you really haven't polished, that you really haven't explored its true depths? You're consistent in being mediocre, but you have yet to tap into being excellent. So you need to find yourself in a position where you are running your own race. So I've made clear my goal and I've left room for me to grow. And now I have found myself running my own race because when you're running your own race, you know when you're tired, you know when you really need to dial it in. You know when you need to stay up late and really crack down on what you need to do. You know when things are going, awry in your relationship, and you really need to just buckle down, get out of your ego, get out of your selfishness, and really begin to consider the other person. Or you know when things are not going well, you're working on, bettering yourself, and you're around toxic people, or you're around people who are living their life. They're living it loose, or they're living it different than you are, and they don't have the same projection that you have, meaning you have a goal in mind that you want to reach, and their goal is nowhere near where yours is. That doesn't mean that, I'm not saying that you need to completely cut them off, but you really want to begin to go, okay, in order for me to get to this next place, I need to kind of distance myself, because their mindset is going to bleed over into me. And so instead of me having faith within myself, having trust and confidence in my work and my ability, I'm now taking on their way of thinking, their way of doing things, and it is destroying and pushing me further away from where I'm trying to go. Lastly, and most importantly, you need to remain diligent while it's boring. One thing I found about myself, I can talk about me because I know me, is that when I am around people that I don't like being around, I find myself playing games. Or if I'm bored because I'm doing the same thing over and over and over again, I start playing games on my phone, or I start, spacing out and doing all kind of stuff mentally, listening to music or whatever, but something to divert my attention from what I really need to do. You got to stay and remain diligent in the boring work. Because if you stop being diligent in the boring work, and when I mean by diligent in the boring work, it is the principal work, the simple baseline work, being on time, being courteous, being grateful, those things, that is the base level. And if I can't be diligent in the boring work, then I'm going to fall off from being consistent, which then is going to pull me in a place that I think is comfortable, but I'm really in danger. I'm in danger of losing everything that I have. This is one of the things that we see, especially in high profile people. They get to a place where they stop being diligent in the boring work. And then they find themselves indulging in alcohol and drugs and sex and all kind of other things. And then when they finally get to a place where they're close to what they want, exposure happens, and all of the work that they have done begins to diminish. And that is one hard thing. So I want to go over them again. One, you want to set clear goals and leave space for growth. Secondly, after you've done that, you now want to run your own race. Lastly, you want to be diligent in the boring work. So I hope this encourages you. I hope this puts you on the right path, or on a greater path. I hope that you find this and you share this with someone, letting them know, hey, listen, you may be in one of these three areas, or you're not in any of them, and here's a tool that can help you. But whatever the case is, you want to find yourself being consistent while being comfortable. Thank you for your time. I hope you have an amazing day, an amazing week. This is Alpheus. This is Increase Podcast. You guys, I'll see you guys soon.